hearing the matter of the third versus Moses Mpofu and Meg Chimombe.
If it makes this one report, the statement that was next witness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chennai, Garissa.
What language do you want to use?
Shona.
Swear in.
Yes, of course. Still already understanding this end.
Tinonzi Chennai Garissa Net.
My Chennai Garissa Net. I'm not prepared to try to talk about the people that are Chennai Chokwadi, Chokwadi, the best match which you could do Chokwadi.
Rafika.
Can I pick up a super for the road? Maradana, much more than that's it.
Mringani Batsiri.
The witness is this one.
Yes, state.
Thank you very much. Madam, is it correct that you are a lawyer by profession, and that you are employed by the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development as the Deputy Director Legal?
Ministry of Tourism, and so to Ministry of Agriculture, sir.
Deputy Director Legal.
Sir, Deputy Director Legal. Yes.
What are some of your duties?
Mabasa angu anosanganisira kupa advice.
My duties involve giving advice.
Anosanganisira zvakare kuenda kudare pamuchimiririra ministry.
Giving advice to?
Kupa
Kuna permanent secretary.
to the permanent secretary,
Kuna minister.
to the minister,
And ma departments are ministry.
and the departments in the ministry.
Thank you.
And
What was?
also my duties involve appearing in courts.
Thank you. Proceed, state.
Yes. Do you know the gentleman in the door?
No?
Now, Madam, the case before the court is pertaining to the procurement of goods for the presidential input scheme, for the presidential input scheme. That occurred in September 2021. Are you familiar with that program?
Nyayifambe pedare ikumaererana nezveskimu yapresident inomaererana nezvembudzi yegore ra2021. Muri kuiziva here program yachino?
Hongu.
Yes.
Now, did you take any part, any role in the proceedings that led to the awarding of a tender to the winning bidder?
Pane zvamakaita here zvakapakunge pane zvaitwa kuti tenda ringe richiwinwa kana bidha?
Hongu.
Yes.
What role did you take?
Makaita?
Takasarudzwa kuministry kana vachitenga zvinhu vanosarudza vanhu vanopota vachizogara vachiona kuita basa rekutarisa zvekutengwa kwezvinhu neministry.
In the ministry, what normally happens is that when they want to procure something, they will then choose individuals who carry out evaluation.
Saka inini ndakanga ndiri chairperson patakatenga mbudzi, pakatengwa mbudzi nehurumende.
So when the government purchased the goats, I was the chairperson
of the evaluation
committee.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. You mean in this case you were the chairperson?
Wongo.
Yes.
Very well, proceed, state.
Yes. What were you looking at? What processes were involved in this evaluation exercise?
Evaluation yamainge mchita zvamaita zvamainge mchita.
Sekomiti tinodzokorora department reprocurement rinouya nemagwaro namadocuments evanhu vanenge vakabhidha. Saka komiti inogara pasi tokumbira tender document nevese vanenge vakabhidha matsamba ava vanenge vakashandisa.
So what happened is that what happened was that the procurement department came with the bid documents, and then as the evaluation team, we analyzed those documents.
Hongu tinenge tichitarisa kuona kuti veprocurement pavanotipa vane inonzi preliminary report kana kuti report yepekutanga zvavakaona musi unouya vanhu vese kuzovhura mabhidhi avo. Saka komiti inotarisa kuona kuti chii chavakaona. Kazhinji vanenge vakanyora kuti bhidhi wekutanga akati mari, wechipiri mari, wechitatu mari. Zvinova zvavanotaura mabhidha ese aripo panovhurwa anonzi mabhidhi acho.
So when the documents or the bidding documents are brought to us, the procurement team also brings what is known as
preliminary report.
Preliminary report, which states what they would have observed in the bidders.
Saka isusu patinozogara tinodzokorora kutarisa zvinenge zvakanyorwa kuti ndizvo here. Sepakutengwa kwembudzi dzinenge dzakataurwa kuti tinoda mbudzi dzakaita sei. Saka isinenge takuzotarisa kuti vakati tinoda mashona tochitarisa kuti vase vane mashona here.
So as the evaluation team, we then go over what would have been stated by each bidder, and then we
totarisa kuti kuenderana here netender document.
Then we then consider if what is stated in that report is in line with what is in the bidder
tender document.
What is in the bidder tender document.
Saka zvakare patinenge tichitarisa tinozotarisa mutengo wacho kuti ari kudhura neakachipa tozorekomenda oro kukurudzira kuti uyu pazvine zvakanyorwa mubhidha ndiye ari kuita kana kuti kumita ma-requirements uye nemutengo wakati.
So we also consider the cheapest
to specifications
and the highest, that is in terms of prices, and then from there we then select the cheapest and also consider if they meet the requirements.
Yes.
Hongu saka maenderano nenyaya iyi tichitarisa saizvozvo takaona vakanga vakachipawo pakutengwa yaive black deck neimwe yacho yainzi kanisika kanga sezvikomborero.
So in connection with this case, we considered the bidder with the cheapest price, which was black deck, and we also considered a company by the name of Chimombe.
Vatanyorera secretary tichirekomenda izvozvo.
We then wrote a letter of recommendation to the secretary.
Patazonzwa kuti zvakaenda kupras asi papadzoka pane inonzi objection yekuzvikomborero asi kune black deck ichinzi endererai mberi ita contract now.
So we were then informed that the recommendation for Chimombe was rejected, but the one for Black Deck was approved, and then we're given the go-ahead.
Ministry wakati wa go
The
ahead.
ministry was then given the go-ahead.
Sorry. You wrote a recommendation
Yes.
to who?
Kuna permanent secretary yanenge ari accounting office.
To the permanent secretary, since he's the accounting officer.
Recommending who? Recommending
Recommendation.
Black Deck
Black Deck
neimwe yacho yainzi zvikomborero.
and Chimombe.
Saka zvazoenda kunonzi kuprazi kana spoke ndokwakazodzoka zvakanzi aiyo yamama pazvikomborero hazviiti vakanyora nezvikonzero zvikasaka chienderera mberi kusaina contract neblack deck.
So the recommendation for Chimombe was rejected by PRAS, but the one for Black Deck was approved, and we're given the go-ahead to proceed with the Black Deck.
Now, in the evaluation of the bids, what was your view in terms of the documents which have been specifically been requested in the bidding document? In particular, I need to know what your committee was doing to satisfy yourself with such documents which had been specifically been requested to be furnished during bids.
So say committee inini chi chamakaita kuti muke muchigutsikana kane madocuments kana kuti magwaro angaiswa pane avo vainge vachipita kuti zvinge chikugutsai kuti ndo zvamange muchitarisira.
Pakutengwa vanenge vakanyora kuti kana ari munhu anongouya nechitupa chake kana iri kampani inoisa magwaro ekuratidza kuti ikampani. Saka komiti inezenge yakuenda ichinotarisa mumwe nemumwe tinenge takapanana kuti iwe unoita bidder 1 iwe unoita bidder 2 zvichienderana kuti vangani. Saka kune
So what the procurement does is that if it's an individual, the individual is supposed to submit their ID.
kana iri yes kana ari individual.
But if it's a company, then you expect to see the company documents. Then after that, we then, as a team, we assign each other a bidding document to go over them as
tichidzokorora kutarisa kuti kana kampani iri kuenderana here nemapepa ayakanyora kuti ikampani inonzi takatarisa mapepa achona anenge arimo.
So as the evaluation team, we go over the documents that would have been submitted by the bidders so as to confirm if they meet the requirements.
Now, was there any due diligence which was carried out by your committee in adjudicating the bid documents by those who submitted?
Kana vakaunza mabid avo imi makaita basa renyu here nemazvo pakunge muchiona kuti zvainge zvidiwa ndo zvazvirimo.
Maybe can you break down due diligence for what you mean by due diligence?
Yes. Your committee, did it find out the authenticity of the documents which have been supplied by the bidders?
Komite yenyu yakwanisa here kunge ichiongorora kuti magwaro angaudzwa nemabidders angariwo echokwadi here?
Hatina kuita sekudaro, taitarisa zvakanga zvirimo kuti zvakafanana neimwe kampani yakatodisqualifyiwa nekuti yanga ine zvimwe zvainga isina. Saka vatadzokorora kutarisa kuti mapepa ari kunzi havana kuisa, vatatoona vasina, vataona kuti saka preliminary report iri right. Ava vari kuti vane kampani totarisa kuti vane maCR 7 CR 14 tikaona zvichienderana nezita rekampani yauya ichiti iri kuda kuzotitengesera tovatati saka zvakaringana, asi hatina kuenderera mberi tarisisa zvekuzoenda kana kucompanies kana kupi hatina.
So what we would just consider is what will be in front of us, in that we don't authenticate the documents, but what we do is that we check if the requirements, for example, if the company requirements are what we require from a company, if everything is in order, like the C14, CR14, the CR7,
company registration
and the company registration.
Now, Madam, in terms of exhibit number 3, which is the government of Zimbabwe standard bidding document for the supply and delivery of goods for the presidential livestock input person scheme, on page 4 of 19, it is not in dispute that the procurement, some of the requirements, so it is not in dispute that there were specific requirements which were expected of bidders, and in particular item number 6, it required a copy of company document CR6, CR40, certificate of incorporation, and tax clearance.
Saka standard bidding documents pane izvo zvaitarisirwa pamacompanies paitarisirwa kuti vange vachiunza CR40, CR6, tax clearance ne-certificate of incorporation. Yes, those were the documents that we were checking.
Yes, in particular, I'm interested in exhibit number 1, which is Black Debt Private Limited Zimra Tax Clearance Certificate for year ending 31 December 2021.
Yeah, this is the tax clearance here, Black Debt Private Limited. Yes, 2021.
Exhibit 1.
Exhibit 1, indeed, my lord.
Yes.
Now, I need to show you that exhibit. Exhibit 1. You may have a look at this exhibit number 1. I think I have been given a much clearer copy. You may use this one. Now, that exhibit, exhibit number 1 has been identified by a witness as having been a certificate which had been tendered, part of the documents by Black Debt Private Limited. What do you say about that document?
Vakatitarisa nemaziso angofanana nemacertificate ekuzima saka takatitarisa kuti ekuzima.
So when you look at the document, you notice that it looks like documents that are issued by Zimra, that is at face value.
What features of the document satisfy you? for it to appear genuine to you.
takaona mucherechedzo mufanikiso wepakanzi zimura logo
We saw the Zimbra logo
nekunyora kwakaita kuti Zimbabwe Revenue Authority
and the way it's written, Zimbabwe Revenue Authority.
saka takaona akangofanana nemamwe ese atinongosoona ekuZimbabwe.
So it looked similar to the ones that we usually see from that are issued by Zimbabwe.
There, did your committee check with the security features which are on that certificate?
No.
No, we did not.
Now, in the same manner, there is also exhibit number 2, which is NASA compliance certificate. Exhibit number 2, you may have a look at it.
Bongo.
Exhibit number 2 was identified by another witness as having been one of the documents supplied by the bidder. What do you have to say about it?
Bongo, takatoriona, takatoti rakanaka.
Yes, we had sight of it and we were satisfied with it.
Did you check with the security features?
Isu takangotarisa penasa tikaona manyorerwo arakaita hatina kuzoenderera mberi kudarika ipapo.
We looked at the logo and the way it's written and we did not go any further than that.
Now, the requirements on the requirements found on page 4 of 19 of exhibit number 3, which is the bid document. What was the implication of those documents that were needed?
Magwaro aya tayadira kuti ndo anoratidza kuti iyi ikampani inoteedzera zvemutemo wemuZimbabwe pakutenga zvePrus.
We wanted these documents so that we could be able to see if they comply with the laws of Zimbabwe with regards to procurement, that is according to Prus.
Nekuti isusu tichiziva kuti kana uchida kutenga kuhurumende unofanira kunge uchibhadhara mitero yako yetaxi nekubhadhara kunasa. Saka zvinhu zvatakatoisa zvanga zvakaiswa mutenda kuti zviri mandatory zvinofanira kunge zviripo. Saka isu ndo zvatakatanga futi kutarisa kuti makambani aya arikuda kuzotipa mbudzi kutitengesera mbudzi anazvowo here.
So we knew that if a company wanted to procure something for the government, would have to see if they comply with the laws, that is paying their taxes.
NASA.
And NASA.
How important were those documents
akakosha zvakadii magwaro
to the tendering procedure?
panyaya yeprocedure yetendering?
kana usina rimwe remagwaro aya ese mukunyorwa kwaari, kana toti i5 iwe wokwanisa kuisa 4 waibva watodisqualify, zvanga zvitori automatic disqualification.
These documents were mandatory, such that if a company had one of these documents missing, then they would automatically be disqualified.
Now, witnesses from Zimra and NASA came before this court and disowned the two documents, exhibit number 1 and 2, as having been not authentic. What effect does that have on the decision that you made during the evaluation procedures?
Pane vafakazivaire vakauya vachitaura kuti magwaro aya anga asiri echokwadi, saka izvi zvinenge zvakuzoreva pane evaluation yamakaitei.
Zvinenge zvakureva kuti kampani yatakati tinogona kutenga kwairi hataikwanisa kuirekomenda kuti isaine contract, yaibva yatongo disqualifyiwa ipapo, nekuti akange auya ari madocuments toti kana efeki kana kafojero hatikwanise kuashandisa kuti titi madocuments ari pamutemo.
So this would mean that the company that would have provided such documents, will be it those that would have been forged or fake documents, it would mean that they would have to be disqualified. We cannot deal with such a company.
So what effect did that have on what effect would then that have on your recommendation that you made?
Saka parecommendation yamakaita imini zvine chizoreva
zvinenge zvakutoreva kuti tatofanira kudambura contract, or hapatorina contract kana contract tichinge takaiita tichishandisa magwaro asiriwo hapana contract.
It would mean that if we signed a contract with that company using these documents that are not genuine, then it would mean that there is no contract at all.
So when did you get to know about the condition of those two documents, the NASA compliance certificate and the Zimra tax certificate?
Ndiri pamakazoziva nezve compliance certificate rekunasa nezve tax clearance rekuzimra.
Ndakazozviziva ndingangoti panga pakuve nekutaurirana kweblack date company yakapiwa neministry vari kutadza kuunza mbudzi sechiwirirano after vabhadharo, ndopakazobuda nhau dzekuti madocuments mamwe makashandisa sehurumende anga ari efeki.
I became aware of the issue that is after Black Tech had been awarded the contract and they had been paid and were failing to supply the required goods.
Yes.
I see. After that was brought to our attention that the documents which were supplied were not authentic. Were any authentic documents ever produced to your ministry?
maudzwa kunzi magwaro mavapi vanga asiri echokwadi pane echokwadi rakazongosvitswa kuministry
In relation to the two documents?
pamagwaro mairi
ina handina ndakaona kana zvandakanzwa.
I did not see any, and I never heard if any were brought to the ministry.
Now, if you may have a look at exhibit number 14. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
Bid document bid document.
Is a bid document?
Now, if you may apply your mind and tell this court, which company supplied that bid in response to the tender that has been flighted by your ministry?
Company yakaunza bid mushure mekunge vaona tenda kayanga yashambadzwa mumakupana
isusu tichivatarisa Blackdeck Private Limited asi mubid mavo mune imwe chete neBlackdeck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
It's a Blackdeck Private Limited, but in their bid you also see that there is also Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
So which company were you dealing with?
Saka mainge muchishandzana necompany
Blackdeck Private Limited.
Blackdeck Private Limited.
Why?
Nyamagai.
Ndiyo yakaunza magwaro, mukatarisa chero magwaro andanga ndichitarisa akatonyorwa kuti certificate yeBlackdeck Private Limited, yeNASA certificate yeBlackdeck Private Limited, neyezimura futi certificate, ende iro document racho rino rakatonyorwa zvakare kunzi Blackdeck Private.
It is the company that submitted the documents in question, that is the clearance, the certificate of compliance from NASA, as well as the tax clearance from Zimra, and also on the face of it, the logo is Blackdeck Private Limited.
What do you see on the face of it? What name do you see there?
Mazita apa muri kuona ipapo.
Pano pamusoro pane mazita eBlackdeck, then Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry Limited Farming.
There is Blackdeck and then Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Are those the same names?
No, Master.
Sorry, just slow down. Okay. Yes, the question was, are those the same
The
names?
two is the Blackdeck Private Limited company and Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry. Are they the same?
Company wechete Blackdeck Private Limited ne Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry Farming. Yes.
If you may go to exhibit to Sierra 14 and Sierra 6. What names are there? That is exhibit number 11 and 12.
Zita company Blackdeck Private Limited.
Company's name is Blackdeck Private Limited.
And actual companies Form Sierra 6 Blackdeck Private Limited.
On the Form Sierra 6 is Blackdeck Private Limited.
And where does it show Blackdeck Livestock and Poultry? On Sierra 14 and Sierra 6.
Sierra 14 and Sierra 6.
Where does it show black deck?
Sorry?
Where does it show black deck? What?
Does it show black deck livestock and poultry farming on CR 14 and CR 16 that were furnished to your committee?
No, it doesn't.
If you may explain to the court, how are the two the same? Black Deck Private Limited and Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Company which is Black Deck Private Limited, Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Akubhidha mapepa edu atinawo ndiyo Black Deck Private Limited, asi kufunga matsamba nepakanyorwa letterhead yakazonyorwa yakati Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming, saka zvichunzwa nemunhu umwe chete, iri bid document iri supply company imwe chete.
So in the bidding documents, the company documents are for Black Deck Private Limited, but in the logo you notice it's Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
So just a second. Yes, proceed.
Yes, Madam, what the state would like you to clarify to the court is that when your committee, evaluation committee, saw the two names, Black Deck Private Limited and Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming, what did it say? What did it apply its mind to that, to those two names which are not the same?
The evaluation committee, kamakaona mazita aya mairi makaita sei makafunganishwa zvere kana
Maybe the same private limited and farming are they the same? And I'm seeking clarification.
Takatora sekampani imwe chete noti mukatarisa pamwe pacho yakatoti Black Deck Private Limited trading is Collins of Farm, saka kwatiri ingori company imwe chete yeBlack Deck.
We took it as one company because if you look at the documents, you've noticed that in other documents it's written as Black Deck Private Limited trading as what it called? Collins of Farm. So we just took it as one.
Yes, I was still coming to that. So the third name also, which is being featured there in the document, is Colenso Farming. So there are now three. Did your committee apply its mind to those three names?
Committee yakangozvitora sekuti Black Deck ndiyo ine mazita ayo akawanda wanda, asi Black Deck ndiyo imwe chete.
The company just took it as one company, that is Black Deck, with the trading as with these other names.
We'll pause there. You took it as a company using those three names. Is that what she said?
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Now, was your committee aware of the provisions of Section 29 of the Companies and Business Entities Act, which says even a trade name is supposed to be registered?
Section 29.
Yes, Section 29.
No.
Nyanya kutarisa kuti my indigenous ere company yedu ayi.
We were mostly considering if the companies which had submitted their bids, if they were indigenous companies.
Now, what in view of the provisions of Section 29 of the Companies and Business Entities Act, which requires that trade names are supposed to be registered. And in the, what is your view now on hindsight?
You're very close to cross-examination.
Yes, I very close, but not. I even crossed.
I'm just being careful not to say you're cross-examining, but in fact that is what I mean.
It's just clarity is being sought.
No. You have sought clarification. Factually, the witness has whatever her views now are, in my view, irrelevant, because those would be an opinion. We want her views at that time, and she has stated that. Yes. You can follow up on that, but her views now are irrelevant. Because that would be an opinion which this court does not require.
I have no further questions for the witness, my lord. That was the last question that the state had.
Yes, my lord and learned assessors, my co-counsel, Mr. Koto, will do the first round of the cross-examination. You want to subject the witness to cross-examination by two counsel? In case there is anything that is then left. But I suppose, I think, for an orderly way of doing things, we can choose who is going to put the questions. If there are any questions that are left, you can confer amongst yourselves and the questions can be put. Indeed. Mr. Koto asked the questions. I will definitely allow the two counsel to confer, on whether or not there may be questions.
Yes, witness. So you sit as chairperson of the evaluation committee.
Yes.
Yes.
So I can say that this tender document was communicated to you as it were.
That it was going to be brought to our attention.
No, I mean, can I say it was directed to you as the people who were going to adjudicate?
Yes.
Confirm that when it came with the various names that you have just told to the court, you were very clear that you were dealing with Black Deck Private Limited and not another company.
taishanda nekampani semanyorerwa aya akaitwa kuti Black Deck Private Limited. Pasati pachona pakanyorwa Black Deck pange zvakanyorwa pamusoro pebid document.
We were dealing with the company with the Black Deck logo.
Saka taishandisa kuti Black Deck Private Limited, Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming, or company that I did.
So the company we're dealing with was Black Deck Private Limited and Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
So the company we were dealing with,
Black Deck Private Limited and Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Semanyorero avakaita gwaro rakauya kwatiri.
Yes, it's written on a bid which was submitted to us.
Okay, just a second. You are saying you were dealing with a company known as Black Deck Private Limited, Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming. That is the full name of the company that you were dealing with.
Yes.
Okay. You were aware that the name of the company is Black Deck Private Limited, but the other names were trading names.
Company Black Deck Private Limited as trading names. Yes, as stated on the bid.
And you confirm that there was
Are you
no...
putting this to her as your instructions? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is correct to say that there was no advantage in using a name that was suggestive of previous dealership in livestock.
May I repeat the question?
From the bid requirements, there was no advantage to be gained by using a name that was suggestive of previous dealership in livestock.
Kubva pane kushambadzwa kwazvaitwa zvasina basa nokuti vanhu chero kambani yaishandisa zita rinoratidza kuti vakamboita zvemhuka zvelivestock zvasina basa zvasingadi kuti vaisovakatenga vacho.
What is the question? What is the question?
The question is, from the bidding requirements, there was no gain in using a name that was suggestive of previous dealership in livestock.
What do you mean?
Well, that if someone used a name that suggests that they had dealt in livestock before, that was not going to be an advantage as far as their valuation was concerned.
Was that her evidence? Was that her evidence?
Yes, because...
Are you putting it to her that there was no advantage in using a name which was what?
Which is suggestive of previous dealership.
There was no advantage. Yes. Are you saying that the name was used? You see, your question is very ambiguous. We can't follow what it is. First of all, are you suggesting that the name used was used to identify with previous dealership? Is that what your question is suggesting?
Well, in case that might be the interpretation.
That's why I'm asking whether that is a testimony. Because you are assuming the existence of a fact that it was used in order to identify with previous dealership, but we don't have that fact yet. You see, so if those are instructions, if you are saying it was used for that purpose, put it to her, then she comments, then you can then follow up on it. But if those are not your instructions, that would be speculation. In fact, I don't even understand what that question means. Because if the name was used, it was used for a purpose. That's what you are saying. You are suggesting that the name was used for a purpose. But the purpose has not been established. So if you want to establish the reason why the name was used, establish it first, and then you can follow up on that.
Well, I think I did, my lord.
Yes.
I will move on.
Are you abandoning the question?
Well, I think I will rephrase it.
Okay.
All that you required was that there be a registered company.
zvataitarisira ikampani yakarejistwa inomita zviya zvatakanyora mandatory macertificates ese ayo uye yova yakachipa kuzvinhu zvatiri kuda kutenga.
So what we required was that the company be registered and also meets the stipulated requirements
The cheapest.
and be the cheapest.
From all the requirements under paragraph 6 of the bidding document, which is exhibit 4, my lord. Sorry, exhibit 3. Of all the requirements at paragraph 6, that is a copy of company documents, CRA 6, CRA 14, certificate of incorporation, test clearance. You confirm that none of those were in the name of Blackjack Livestock and Poultry.
magwaro ekambani motsigira kakuti pane ese wakapasina ka Blackjack livestock and poultry farming.
Private limited.
Yes, that is correct. The name which appears on those documents is Black Deck Private Limited.
Yes.
And after your evaluation, the award was made to Black Deck Private Limited and not to Black Deck Livestock and Poultry.
Evaluation Black Deck Private Limited, Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Bidder anonzi Black Deck Private Limited anoshanda zve ari Black Deck Poultry.
The tender was awarded to Black Deck Private Limited, which trades as Black Deck Livestock and Poultry Farming.
Yes.
You were asked to look at the test clearance certificate.
Yes.
And you confirm that the test clearance certificate purports to be in respect of Black Deck Private Limited.
Yes.
By merely looking at that document, you cannot tell that it is not authentic with the naked eye.
Yes.
And from that document, there is nothing that connects it to one Moses Mpofu.
I would not know.
You represent the
first accused.
The first accused.
Yes.
And the answer?
I would not know.
Yes.
And same applies to the NASA certificate. There is nothing that connects it to Moses Mpofu.
I do not know.
You told the court that in respect of this bid, the ministry assembled teams that were looking into these papers. Is that so?
Yes.
Evaluation committee.
Yes, we were the evaluation committee.
It was not a one-man band.
Zvazvisiri kumunhu mumwe chete. Yes.
Now, the first accused person, if the first accused person was to tell the court that even in their organization it was not a one-man band but various people had various tasks, would you be in a position to dispute that?
Imusunga kutanga kataura kuti iyo company yanga isinga yemunhu mumwe chete asi kuti yanga ine vanhu vakati siyanei uyezve vane mabasa akati siyanei.
Which company?
Black Deck Private Limited.
Would not know how they carry out their business at their company.
And if you were to tell the court that he was not involved either in the procurement of the certificates or the preparation of the bids, you have no evidence to rebut that.
I do not know.
If I may just confer with my client. That is one confirmation, my lord.
Mr. Matuku?
Mr. India would do the process. Yes, witness. Are you aware of the offense that the second accused person is facing in this court?
Yes.
You are a legal practitioner, am I correct?
Yes.
Your understanding of the law is better than that from a layman walking on the street. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, I've heard you testifying in this court where you are also given conclusions at law, where you said that if we had known that there were certain forged documents, that renders the contract invalid from the very start. Was that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you appreciate that the offense that the second accused person is facing is that he forged certain documents with the first accused person?
Is that the offense?
That is what the charge it says, my lord.
Wait a second. I don't see that, but I think maybe that is what you understand to be the essence of the charge. But why don't you just put to here what the charge says?
I'll rephrase my question.
Yes.
Do you understand that the offense that the second accused person is facing is that he, in common purpose and in connivance with the first accused, misrepresented certain facts and certain documents to the ministry?
ministry.
Wrong.
Yes.
You were the chairperson of the committee. Did you see documents that had to do with the company called Militech Private Limited?
Mamuri chairperson committee. Makaona ere magwaro anga nechikuita neMilitech Private Limited. Yes.
Are you aware that the second accused is a director and shareholder of that company, Militech Private Limited?
Was there to switch period director and shareholder company Militech Private Limited?
And this is
I do not know that.
Now, I heard you to say that there were other companies that were automatically disqualified after they had not met certain requirements. Did I hear you correctly?
Ndanzwa zvakanaka here mufamataura kuti pane mamwe makampani asina kubudirira nemhaka yekuti vange vasina zvakakwana. Yes.
Now, do you have any evidence at all that the first accused person, rather the second accused person, forged any documents that were in the bid of Black Deck Private Limited as alleged?
I do not have any.
And you confirm that in as far as the charges that the second accused person is facing in this court, they have nothing to do with Militech Private Limited.
I would not really know about the charges.
I have no further questions in cross-examination.
State re-examination?
None, my lord.
Who prepared the contract?
The director of PMU.
That's an abbreviation. What does it mean?
Sorry. Director of Procurement Management Unit.
The director of Procurement Management Unit. Who is now late?
Who prepared the evaluation report?
For evaluation report.
I'm also preparing a secretary of committee and procurement officer.
The procurement officer. Where's the secretary of the committee?
As the chairperson, did you sign this, the report?
Chairperson, maka sign the report. Yes.
Okay, let's
I
just-
believe we all signed.
Let me just look at it. Oh, you did. Can you show her? I think she needs to recall. Can you show her the report? It's Exhibit 7. So, looking at it, did you sign it? Did you sign in your capacity as chairperson?
Yes.
I just want you to explain who did you refer to as the... Where do you say you recommended the Black Tech Private Limited?
Takarekomenda apo pakanzi recommendations. Tanyora kuti recommended to award the following as lowest bidders to tender specifications. So item 1, that quantity 15,557 loads, bags, bidders, bidder 3, Black Tech livestock, tender sum 1.5 million. Then part 2, Black Tech again. Then loti 4 pane Black Tech inenge bidder 3 saka tainyora bidder number.
So under recommendation, that's when we recommended Black Tech Private Limited.
Item 1.
On item number 1.
Item number 1, you recommend. Who did you recommend?
Item number 1.
Bidder 3, which is
who did
Black
you
Tech.
recommend? Item number 1. Who did you recommend?
Black Tech livestock.
Black Tech livestock.
And item number 2?
Item number 2.
Bidder 3, which is also Black Tech.
Black Tech livestock.
Item number 3?
Number 3, there is bidder 2, Zvikomborero Farm.
There is bidder 2, Zvikomborero Farm.
Go on.
Oh, number 4, there is bidder 3, Black Tech.
Read what is there.
Black
what?
Tech livestock.
No, don't worry. I just want to know the item and the recommended supplier.
Right. Number 5, bidder 2, Zvikomborero Farm. Number 6, bidder 3, Black Tech livestock. Number 5, bidder 3, Black Tech livestock. Then number 6, bidder 3, Black Tech livestock.
Also, what is the 5 and 6 below?
5 and 6 there.
There's 4, 5, 6, then 5, 6.
I think ndofunga kuti typing error.
Must be a typing error.
Meaning what?
Zvichireva kuti 4, 5, 6, then 7 and 8. nekuti zvakatosiyana the quantities achazopiwa, mamwe acho madoors mashona nematebheli, saka panofana
Well, it's supposed to be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So 5 items 7 written as 5. Who did you recommend?
Yes.
Who did you recommend?
Peter 3 black tech livestock.
Item 8 written
Yes.
as 6. Is that so?
Yes.
Who did you recommend?
Peter 3 foot black tech livestock.
Thank you. Any questions arising, State?
None, my lord.
Mr. Koto? Well, is it Mr. Jetero?
Yes, my lord.
Right. You have been referred to Exhibit 7. Shikomborero Farm. Who is Shikomborero Farm?
Master, company.
I only know the company names.
You do confirm that there is a company that participated in a bid which has a name, Shikomborero Farm something something private limited.
Yes.
Militech.
Yes. There were 4 companies.
There were 4 companies, 4 bidders. Can you name the 4 bidders if you
Black deck.
There was Black Deck.
Shikomborero.
There was Shikomborero.
Wait. Black Deck, Shikomborero.
Shikomborero farms.
Shikomborero Farms.
Yes.
Militech.
There was a Militech.
chifundo kumbura kutarisa apo pamarecommendations.
The 4th one.
Does it not appear on the report? So no, I'm asking Mr. Jitendra. Oh no, the point. Oh, okay. It doesn't. I thought you were looking for it, but it doesn't matter.
There was also Cotron.
Doesn't appear, but I remember there is an exhibit that related to.
I think it's on Exhibit 7.
It's on exhibit.
First page of Exhibit 7.
All right. So the point that I want you to either confirm with me or not is that when you were writing and listing these names, you were listing the names loosely. When you would say Black Deck Livestock, it was a loose reference, not that that was the proper, accurate description of the company that you were referring to as Black Deck Livestock.
hongu changa chakakosha kunyora kuti ndibhidha nambani nekuti taitarisa munhu nebid document rake kuti uri bhidha nambani.
That is correct. We're mostly looking at the bid number.
For example, the bid that relates to Militech, you just wrote Militech loosely, but you were referring to the bidder that had participated as Militech Enterprises Private Limited, properly so.
Yes.
If I were to give an example of my name, you may refer to me as Advocate Taps, but when I'm being correctly referred to by the name that goes by my birth certificate, I am Tapson Stanley Togara Cedric. So you would know that loosely you are referring to one and the same person.
I will never address you as Advocate Taps. Because I must address you by your correct name. I think you have made your point.
Thank you very much, my lord. I have no further questions to this.
We have no. Thank you very much for giving evidence. You are now free to go, finally.
Thank you.
Yes. Very well. Do you have any other witness in attendance, State?
None, my lord.
Yes. Unfortunately, we cannot continue this week. I suddenly committed to some other business. So, yes, Mr. Madu, you want to say something?
We were suspecting that that would arise.
That would come, isn't it? Yes, I would have wanted to proceed, and I don't know how many witnesses are left. How many witnesses are you left with, Ted?
2, anticipating that maybe.
And go through the witness this week, but there's a workshop which all judges are required to participate in, and it's going to run from tomorrow until Friday. So we are likely to defer all our cases. So
Madam, in the event that workshop doesn't happen, for example, if we may be sitting in court here and then perhaps we're seeing some messages suggesting that
it may not take place.
Yeah, we just want to say.
Okay, so provisionally we can roll over the matter tomorrow, if there is that possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know social media, but at least.
Well, I have no other commitment anyway. So if I'm not attending a meeting, I must be available.
Indeed, that's what.
I think let us leave it at that. So we just leave it open. But as for the media, they will have then to wait to hear from the State Council. I'm sure that's clear. We are not certain as to whether I'm going to be available tomorrow, but I want to be available if I can. So you communicate with the media if we are proceeding. So stand up, accused persons. Your matter is rolled over to tomorrow for continuation of the trial. Usually it's 10:30 to 11. We just wait for the bail roll to complete and then we can. So it's not. I don't think 9 o'clock would be appropriate. Let's just. 10:30. So tomorrow shall be the 3rd of July. 3 July. Yes, come back tomorrow, 3rd July at 10:30. Another business registrar?
No further business, my lord.
Very well. The court will rise.
Supreme Court.